Welcome to Trading Lounge and the S&P 500 for the 14th of July and study on the daily chart here. As you know, we've been tracking two counts. One of them is that we have 5 waves here with wave 1 and then an A wave, an A and a B and a C wave here for wave B. It hasn't taken out the top here for wave B and we're seeing that sell off here now. So it's possible to have this wave C come into play. Here it may not come all the way back down into this space here because it moves so high to the old high over here showing strength. So we need to consider this particular pattern, and once we get down to pretty much down here somewhere, or maybe even on the 3000, but we need to count 5 waves in that structure. Once that's completed, we can move up from that point. The other point is that we could have wave 4 just sitting in here, and that would leave this as wave 1 here, and then pulling back 61.8% and then moving up from that space. So they're the two options that we're left with at this stage. So let's go in and have a look at what we've got so far. So on the 2-hour chart, we've got the original count here. Wave 1 here, an A wave here, an A and a B and a C wave here for wave B, and we were looking for 5 waves up here, which we have now. So I'll just clean these up while I'm here on the hop. So in this case here, we're looking for 5 waves down, and it does appear that we are seeing, and we'll investigate this a little bit further, that we're seeing 5 waves in this first little structure here. So this could bring us down to, say, support area here from these old supports, and then have a corrective move back in this case, and then another move down. While we're here, we can just grab this low here and this high here roughly. You can sort that out later, and we'll just look at this 50-60% retracement level here for this, and then I'll clean these up here because this is where we never got this set up here for this. So I'm just going to remove this and we'll investigate. I mean, hindsight's hindsight, but we can learn from hindsight. But we never got that set up to go long. First of all, we didn't get support on top of 3230, the top of group 1, and we didn't get that. We only got half of the setup completed, half of the pattern completed for the setup to go long at that point. Obviously, we were trading long up in this leg here, as you know. We'll need to discuss that as well. So it's possible that if this rally comes into this space here as an A and a B and a C here, and then move up from that point. Obviously that we can go long above that second high here. That would be the A wave, the B wave and the C wave here. We can go long here. This has dropped off really sharp here, so that's very typical of an A wave, and if that's going to be the case, this C wave that comes down here would be on more of an angle. So if I can just draw that over here, the A wave coming down here, the B wave coming back up, and the C wave coming down through here. So if we see that on more of the more angle that is, the stronger the market is. So that's what we look for, okay? And these are coming in on swing days. So, you know, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, they tend to be the corrective day. So we're sort of seeing that in line with the bullish weekly cycle. So we'll keep an eye on this little angle here as well. And if it does come down, you know, similar to this one here, then it's possible that that we have the third wave, which will bring us down from wave 2 here, will bring us through this here. There will be support there for sure because of the 3-1, of course, and also the 61.8%. But the other move should bring us something like this here with 5 waves down in terms of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So these are the two things that we've got here, and we've talked about them before, and yeah, we just need to play that out here. So if you're short at the moment, obviously we need to understand the 5-wave structure moving down through here. So everything's got a beginning, a middle, and an end, and we're at the later stages of this 5-wave structure coming down through here in this instance. So just to recap this here, we've got wave 1 here with the A wave here, the A, the B, and the C wave for the B wave, and then down for the C wave here. Now, it's this type of pattern here is okay for wave 2, but wave 2s are normally simple and sharp. They're normally like an A and a B and a C wave, just simple and sharp. Now this B wave here has really been time consuming within all of this, so it's probably not this 1 and 2 here in this regard. So it's probably likely that we can head up from this point, but if it does come down here, then that wave 4 that I've had here sitting here, then this can also be a wave 4 sitting over here. I'm sorry to complicate things, but I must look at everything and then a move up from that point, because this is, if it does come down here, this is really the behavior of a 4th wave rather than a wave 2. So we'll just bear that in mind. We just got to weed through these. We're in a correction here. This is a real tough correction here. This has been hard work, but out of this will come our rewards. There'll be a trend from this. Right, let's cruise in and have a look at the other side to this. So perhaps on the 4-hour chart. Okay, so this is the 4-hour chart here. It's possible to have this wave 4 here, as I've mentioned before, with wave 1 here, and then coming back for wave 2 here into the 3100 area through here. It's highly likely that we're getting 5 waves down here, right? So very high probability of this being 5 waves here, and then we'll see that counter trend and then this move through here. So as I mentioned, we can go long above this high here. The reason I say this high here for is because that any move above that high here would technically make that 3 waves. Otherwise, it's not 3 waves. It can just continue to move to the downside from that point. That said, this is why we need to start, once this move comes down through here, then this is why we need to look at the angle on this compared to the angle on this. We'll also be able to draw a line through here, because if it's the 3rd wave coming down here, it won't crack this trend line again here, so we'll be able to do that. We'll also look for setups around this low here from impulse waves and the trading levels from that point of view as well. Getting in on, I can get you in on the turn here, but will it take us higher, or will it take us a little bit higher and take us lower again? I'm not sure about that, and that's not a safe trade. We need to have an edge, and my edge is the Elliott wave and the trading levels as support and the setup. So drilling in a little bit further through here, I'm not sure what I've added here. This was another little count that we had here with 5 waves here, and then looking for little 5 waves up here and coming back into this point here. I don't think that's the case, so I can move on from that, and we'll just go to the 15-minute chart here. So with the 15-minute chart here, one of the things that we were looking for here, this is the same count here as well for this, so I haven't updated this, but we don't need this count here anymore, but we could still use this pattern here, because this is basically the arrival and the reaction here from this level, and then the first high above the level. So what we were looking for here was the ABC pattern to come in and taking that high out, and then this high here, but we don't have any need for that, and this is also moved through this 61.8% mark here. So I'm just going to go into the tick chart here for a moment. So this is the top here, right? And this is 100 ticks, so you just have to bear with me while I squash this in. So it does appear that this is wave 1 here and 2 here, and then we've got wave 1 and 2 here, and then if I just mark these out here for us, just roughly, this will just give us an idea of where we're up to. should be seeing a wave 4 come into play here off this level, and then wave 5 down here somewhere with wave 3. Unless that's going to extend. It's just going to go through there, that's going to roll over again, so something's got an extension in it here. I've missed something, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 4, that wave 4's pulled a bit back a bit high. I haven't pulled this apart, it looks okay. We'll just see if this gives us a wave 4 here and coming up here and then down again from that point here. So this, let's just go back, sorry about this, let's just go back a second here. Right, so that 61.8% is way down here for this. So that's actually going to be, I hope you don't mind me working on the hop here, I'm just thinking out loud. I think we'll also look at the NASI as well, see what we can figure out from that. So we know that this is basically 1 and 2 in here, and 3 and 4 coming into here for 5 here. Yeah, look, it looks like it wants to come down further than this. Let's have a look at the NASDAQ here for a moment. So it's just the 1 hour chart here, and I'm just going to go into the tick chart here. Sorry for coughing, I don't smoke. 1 and 2. Okay, so I've been over this, so that's cool. Just want to take you on the journey as well, hope that's okay. So we've got wave 1 here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and then the A, the B and the C for wave 2. So I'll just consider that the third wave. That may even be wave 2 sitting here. It doesn't really matter because this one here is so pronounced. There's an A, B, C for wave 2 here. And then we've got that wave 4 comes back to that wave 4 there. And then we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So that's probably sort of sits okay. So that's probably 3 and 4 there and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for 5 of 3. So we're in the same count as the S&P. So we should see a wave 4 and then a wave 5 down here. So the main takeaway from here is that we can clearly see that this is 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the third wave. There'll be a fourth wave and a fifth wave. So this could take us, it just depends on how, if this extends down here, because when you look at this move here, the takeaway here is that this is the first wave, this is the second wave, this is the third wave, and this is the fourth wave here. So each one of these is actually expanding, isn't it? So that means that, you know, I would normally say that if these were reducing in some way, then we could use this number here. So this may just move through the 500 here. I mean, there'll be some sort of thing there, but it could take us much lower. But the main point of this, even if it's here or down here, wherever it may be, I mean, the first wave was small and the extension's in the third wave, so I would think that wave 5 would be smaller in this regard here. But the takeaway here is that we've got 5 waves down here. I'm not quite sure if the green labelling's the way to go, or I should use the next higher degree in blue, but that doesn't matter too much. What matters is the counting of it and what we can expect next with this. So we should see, after these 5 waves here, we should see this ABC here for this. How far that takes us, let's just make some assumptions here. So let's just, I'll take it down to 400 here, and that's halfway between the 5 and the 3, and you can make the adjustments there. And the market doesn't have to pull all the way back up to this level either, but that's the 50-60% retracement level there for that. So this wave 4 here, if wherever that comes in, will be pretty much where the wave A will come back in this regard as well, and wave C. So the takeaway here is that we're in the later stages of 5 waves down, and the S&P will be the same, and then we're going to see a counter trend that, because this was so sharp here, we may not see it come back to the 61.8%. We may just see it come back to the 40%, which is around here somewhere. So in this case here, we can use group 2 here. So group 2 is 65, 72 and 80 here. So it's more likely to come into this space here and then drop down again. Now, because we've got those 5 waves here, if we can go back to the hourly chart for a moment. So one thing we can do here is grab the low of this wave structure here and then take this up here. And we had those waves there, so that we could look at this here. If we just put these in blue now. And I'll just draw this in here. So we know that we're going to get 5 waves down to this point here somewhere. Then we know we're going to get a green ABC back up into group 2. So group 2 is part of 80, 72 and 65. So that group 2 in here. There'll also be some point in here, which I should be able to find, some balance point between all of this top here, all of this confuffle here. That's at the 10,700. So that's really going to play a strong role, that 10,700. So keep an eye on that. And then this move here will be like this here. So it is possible for this market to do 2 things here: have an A wave, a B wave that comes back up into this space, and then a C wave that comes down to here and then moves up from that point, okay? The other point with this is that we copy this here and have this as wave 1 here, wave 2 here, and wave 3 coming down through here, and wave 4 and wave 5 coming down here further for this. So a larger 5 wave structure coming down, which probably not the case. We'll just take things one. I know when we see a sharp move like this, you know, we tend to panic a little bit or get excited in one way or another, especially if you're using, you know, coloured candles. You know, a big red candle there can really, I mean, the biggest thing to overcome in trading is the emotional factor. You need to become the detached observer and just be able to watch the natural flow of the market unfolding without being influenced emotionally about it. So having big red candles and big green candles, I really don't think it's the way to go. I don't think it's very helpful emotionally. But anyway, that's another story. But yeah, so when you see a sharp move like this, it is a little bit haunting, but that's what A waves do. That's typical of an A wave. So I think that we've got our A and a B and a C coming into this space here for this. So we'll keep an eye on it. And as I mentioned, taking this top out here is the thing with that. And also too, we'll be able to take that top and wherever that B wave comes in and draw that line through there as well for that, and enter over here for that. And we'll talk about this and we'll try and get a better entry for this and so on and so on. Yeah, okay. That's it, I think. So I'll leave it at that. We should just recap the S&P 500. So the S&P 500 is also having 5 waves coming down through here. It will probably find support. I've probably dramatized that too much in here for that. But we should see support come in around this area through here for this first move down here, and then we should see a rally of 40 to 50, 60%, and then we can come down into this space here as well, and then we can move up from there. If we find this not so much the 3,100, but close to it, the lower end of this, if we find that as resistance there, then this level here as resistance, then we know that we're going to drop down to the 3,000 at that point. Okay, and it will probably be, you know, if this is wave 1 here and we go back for wave 2 here, then it may not spend a lot of time here, because if it's the third wave, it's just really going to kind of burn through this here. There's no real consolidation in the last trend over here except for this one here. Obviously this top here, these lows here right through here, where that 61.8%, in terms of geometry, there's something quite special about that particular number there for some reason or other. So that there, the 3080 as the resistance, will bring us down at that point, but we need to see it as the resistance. So the market moving through there and moving, moving through here, coming back and testing it, and then the short trade under there for that, and then down to here and exit at that point. And we'll be looking for those larger 5 waves at that point here in that structure. So we've got 2 things to work through now. But remember that we're not missing anything, because in one way or another, once this whole correction is finished, it's going to deliver a trend. And it's that trend we want to build into over time. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.